two persons A and B perform same amount of work in moving a body through a certain distance t. Okay, so I need to mark that as well. So moves through t, B also moves through t. The only difference being one is at 45 degree and the other is at 60 degree with the direction of displacement. So I've taken this vector, blue vector here, which represents the direction of displacement. The ratio of force applied by person A, which means what we're given is essentially that force of A by force of B is equal to 1 upon root x, right? Okay, now see, most of the students who get this question correct often come back to me, asking for further clarity into the question because they get confused with this theta. So, what is that? I'll tell you. See, what is work done by a force is equal to? It is the magnitude of that force dot displacement vector, both of them mean vector, which is magnitude of force F into S into cos theta, right? So, this theta here is not 45 degree. So for person A, theta is not 45 degree. For person B, theta is not 60 degree. This is something most of the students make a mistake, but fortunately, the answer would be correct even if you go by that mistake. Okay, so it really doesn't mean that both of them represent the corresponding angles. Okay, why? We will have a look into that. So if you consider, let's say this as force A. If you consider this vector as force A, which is acting at an angle of 45 degree with respect to the displacement vector, we know that this force can be resolved into one horizontal component which is along the direction of displacement and other the vertical component which is perpendicular to the direction of displacement. As I've shown here, we can resolve Fa into two components, Fax and Fay. Now, if you consider this to be a triangle where a displaced vector Fay into this side to the heads of Fax, which means if I essentially consider this to be the resultant vector which can be resolved into two components, horizontal component and the vertical component, I get a triangle with angle theta here. What is sine theta? Fay opposite by hypotenuse, which is Fay by hypotenuse, which is Fa. So what is Fay then? Fa into sine theta. Similarly, what is Fax? It is Fa into cos theta. Now see, now comes the concept. So when you consider work done by A, right? When you consider work done by A, you have to consider work done by both of its component, which is work done by Fax and work done by Fay. What is work done by a vector Fax? It is equal to Fax, magnitude of vector Fax, which is Fax, into displacement into cos theta. Now this is what I was saying, theta is not the same as given in the question. Now, what is theta here? Theta here is 0 degree. Why? Because theta is the angle between the component of force, which is Fax, and the displacement vector here. So displacement and the horizontal component, both of them are in the same direction. Therefore, angle between them is 0 degree, and therefore this cos theta is cos 0, which is 1. But what is Fax? Exactly, we just found Fax to be Fa into cos theta. Therefore, what we get is Fax is equal to Fa into cos 60 into S, something that I was trying to convey. So what is this cos 0? This cos 0 becomes 1, right? This cos 0 becomes 1. Okay. I think now everything ahead would be very easy to you. Why? Because we have work done by vector Fa, which is magnitude of vector Fa, which is Fay into S into cos theta. What is the magnitude of displacement? The direction of displacement is like this. direction of the force under consideration is like this. What is the angle between them? The angle between them is theta is equal to, angle between theta is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, what is cos theta? Cos theta is cos 90. What is cos 90? 0. So 0 into FA will become 0. Which means when you consider work done by A, you have to consider work done by A by the force A, which will have two components, which is FAX and FAY. But out of these two components, work done by FAY is actually equal to 0. Okay. Let us now consider the case of, so this is what I could just summarize this as work done by A, which is work done by person A by applying force A, is actually equal to work done by the AX component alone. Work done by this component can be assumed, not assumed to be, it is in fact 0. Right? So I can write down work done by A as force of A into cos 45. Alright? Now this is where the concept becomes confusing, and yet you get the same answer. Okay? Right. Now let's see the case with work done by person B. Now I think the things will be really more easy to you, because almost every step is similar and you can just keep on substituting the values. The only thing here changes here is FA is replaced by FB, 45 is replaced by 60. FB is inclined with displacement vector, which is 60 degree, and it can be resolved into two components. One, the horizontal component, which is along the displacement vector, and the other, the perpendicular component or the vertical component, which is perpendicular to the displacement vector. And these two forces can be considered as, I don't want to skip the discussion here. So we have one resultant vector which can be resolved into horizontal vector and the vertical vector with the name FBX and FBY respectively. And if you were to find out these values, what you get is sine theta from this triangle is FBY by FB. Therefore, FBY is equal to, my bad, it's not FA, this should be FB. Therefore, what is FBY? FBY from this equation can be written as FB into sine theta, Similarly, what is FBX? It can be written as FB into cos theta, right? Now let us consider the equations for work done by force B. So as we said earlier, work done by B will have two components. One will be for FBX and the other will be for FBY. In the case of FBX, the angle between them is 0. Them means what? Between the component of force and displacement. Between the component of force and displacement. And the other case, the angle between them is 90 degree. We'll go through this in detail. So when you consider work done by B, work done by the vector FBX is equal to the magnitude of that vector FBX into displacement into cos theta, where theta represents the angle between the components, FBX and the displacement vector. Okay, maybe I should have included that in the writing as well. Okay, maybe the next question. Yeah. So what is the angle between these two vectors? It is 0. So what is this cos theta? It is cos theta, which is cos 0, which is equal to 1. But what is FBX? FBX is FB into cos theta. We have already resolved it. And what is FB into cos theta here? What is the angle of theta? The angle of inclination is given to us as 60 degree, and therefore FBX, work done by vector FBX, would be equal to FB into cos 60. Now, contrast to what we have compared to FBX, while we discuss FBY, what do we see? What we see is the angle between the vector, the force vector, and the displacement vector is 90 degree, and therefore what is this cos theta? It is cos 90, which is equal to 0. Right? Now, if you consider work done by work done by B alone, we can say that the complete work done by person B can be considered to be work done by the force which is exerted by B along the X component alone, right? Or in other words, work done by this force component is equal to 0. Therefore, work done by B can be written as FB into cos 60 into S, right? Now, if you compare these two, work done by B is FB cos 60 into S, work done by A is FA cos 45 into S. The only difference being 45 is being replaced by 60 in B, right? Okay. Now, it is given in the question that work done by B is equal to work done by A. What is work done by B? FB into cos 60 into S. What is work done by A? FA into cos 45 into S. S by S is 1. Therefore, FB into cos 60 is 1 by 2. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. So, FA by FB will be equal to root 2 to the LHS will be root 2 by 2. 2 can be written as root 2 into root 2. Therefore, root 2 by root 2 is 1. So, this becomes 1 by root 2 given to us as this is equal to 1 by root x. And therefore, the correct answer is maybe, we have the question here now. So 1 by root x, and it is given as the question that person A to the force applied by person B is A to B is 1 by root x. The value of x is